Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here and to be with you on this stage. My name is Kadir. I am from Cisco Systems, and I'm here today to talk about the journey to IT as a service. And with that, I really would like to position how we can reach, how we can go for this journey. Now, the agenda that I would like to touch base today is, first I would like to talk about the digital disruption. What is exactly happening out there and how this is impacting all our lives together in this business. Then, as a solution for this digital disruption, we're going to see IT as a service, how we can approach IT in a different operating model. And then I would like to talk about the Cisco Fast IT methodology, which we actually help a lot of organizations all around the world, and specifically in this region, including Kuwait, how we achieved certain results using this methodology. And I would like to give you some references, share with you some good practices, and then close the discussion. So with this, I'm sure maybe you have seen this many times. I think the speakers in the morning also talked about this a lot. There is a huge disruption going on. So if you look at the internet in 1 minute, what's happening in 1 minute, it's all about data. So huge exponential growth, and it is a growth that we haven't seen in the whole history of mankind. So the data is exponentially growing, and with that, of course, something is changing, and we need to change also some of the stuff that we are doing traditionally. And it's all about the applications also to start with. So Cisco, to many people, and I've been with Cisco for 5 years, so I've talked to many, many different customers. Cisco to many people is about like networking usually. And actually, it's more than that. And I think many companies today are doing the same. So I was talking to my friends at the Xerox booth just before the presentation. They are also getting into the software world. They have a special software department. Every company, every organization is doing the same. So as Cisco, we are also working in this context. So Cisco and IMD, which is a Switzerland-based executive education school, so it's one of the top number 5 schools, has worked on a specific initiative which is called Digital Vortex. And this report is available on the internet if you just Google it. It's about the digital disruption that's happening today in our market. Basically, what they did is they talked to more than 1,000 business leaders in 12 different industries in many different countries, and they came up with this report just to show how each industry will be impacted with the digital transformation. Now, just an example, I'm sure you have seen it also, and everybody using it. So WhatsApp on our phones. So before WhatsApp came into the picture, 2012, it just came around that time. The SMS business was around like $100 billion. It's a market of $100 billion at that time. Then WhatsApp came in 2014, Facebook acquired WhatsApp for $22 billion. It was an amazing purchase at that time. And then all of a sudden we saw this drop in the overall SMS messaging. Now, the idea is around like how this whole thing is disrupting the market. So Facebook is now working on a different business model for WhatsApp and all that. But this is happening in every organization, in every industry. So within this report, what we actually see is within those 12 industries, and based on the comment coming from all these 1,000 business leaders, certain industries are regarded as like more immune to this digital disruption, and some of them are not as much. But the interesting thing is, for instance, if you see in the last one that I'm showing, the utilities industry seem to be like 17%. It's not so much like disruptive industry. It's changing also. We all know Tesla. They came up with a new home battery, and all of a sudden, you can use your Tesla home battery to charge electricity during off-peak hours. So then, the overall, business for the whole utility industry is also getting disrupted. So, the reason I'm sharing this is just to understand, the context. The context is it's a digital disruption, and it's happening also at the government, of course, in our agencies and everything as well. So what to do? So IT, as an IT, we are all under this pressure. So from cloud, mobile, big data applications, we need to be agile, we need to be fast, flexible, we need to be cost sensitive, all this. And from the business world, of course, business is actually asking for more, to be more faster, to be more like as a service model and all that. And IT is just pressured into this, like from the top and from the bottom. Now, what is IT as a service organization? So it is one of the, definitely main things that everybody is talking these days. IT as a service organization is, it's a business model. It's not just technology. So if you look at IT as a service, if you just look from technology perspective, it is not really covering everything. So IT is a business within a business. So IT has to react to the requirements of this world or today with a business mindset. And then, of course, it has to be financially responsible, as well as there should be a cost transparency. So you need to define the services that you are offering as the IT to your users in a very cost-effective manner, but also it needs to be very transparent. And of course, it's all about service provider concept. So IT has to work as a service provider from that context. And quality is very important, and most importantly, now you need to be very competitive. Otherwise, if you get the service, in like a 6 weeks time frame where the business wants it right away, then you're losing your business to other competitors. From Cisco, I know it's a very complex chart, but what I want to tell about what we are doing in Cisco from IT as a service context is mainly on 4 main requirements. So what are the main challenges today we have? Speed, we need to be faster, so we need to be really at the business of the speed, at the speed of business, sorry. The relevance, the cost, and also the last one is security. So based on these 4, how do we really go through this transformation? First of all, we need to have a really world-class infrastructure, that's for sure. If you have an environment that you have downtimes and things like that going on continuously, you're not going to be able to build on top of it. So that's a must. On top of that, the mindset needs to change. So if you think about IT as a service is actually it's a philosophical change. So you need to get your people to adopt in a different mindset, business mindset. As I said before, it needs to be more service oriented. So you have to define your services based on your business problems, and then each service should be very transparent. On top of that, you need to work together with your IT and business architectures together to find the right mix of solutions. And this will allow you to provide the fast IT environment that we are referring to. Like I said, it's very complex slide, but the idea is more around like how to work together and how to change the mindset. So with that, the summary is, so the role of IT is changing. All the pressure is coming from the top, from the bottom, and there needs to be a transformation. And this transformation needs to be really fast, and we need to start doing it. So where do we start? So that's the main question. And that brings brings us into the Cisco Fast IT methodology. The methodology is actually very simple. So we don't really want to rely the methodology on just technology. We rely our Cisco Fast IT methodology in 3 main pillars. The first pillar is about the people and the business in your organization. The second pillar is about the process and organization, and the last pillar is the technology. So when we look at the people and business pillar, we talk about here the relationship between your IT and between your business. So in every organization, in your organization today, if you are from the business side, of course, you have some requests going to the IT. So there's a demand management happening over there. But how does it really work? Do you really reach the right person at the IT easily, or it takes time? I mean, usually, traditionally, we know business always, complains about not reaching the right people at the IT. IT, on the other hand, say, okay, I'm done, I'm handing over, but they are not really taking over. So how this relationship happens? This is very important from people-business perspective. Then comes the business insights, which is more about the data. Today, in the presentations earlier, it was mentioned data is the key, data is the new oil, and things like that. The real important point is, do you have a data strategy in your organization? That's really critical. So when we apply this methodology, we talk to many different people in the organization. So it's not just the IT people. We talk to business people, we talk to finance, we go talk to HR, all the different organizations, and try to understand how your organization is handling all these different elements. So data, business processes, they are very critical. And of course, in today's world, innovation is key. So we know all these vendors, and including Cisco and the others, they are coming up with new technologies and all that. But it's very important how you use that technology within your organization to have some innovation. And the innovation is key also to get you to the digitized world. And of course, your relationship with your customers, how do you really, in government, it's end users, citizens, or different agencies, how do you really work with them? So your relationship with them, and how do they have an experience in this world, including that. So these are the keys. Of course, your people is the key also in terms of workforce. And above all, of course, security is very critical. So in this first area, so we call it 6 buckets. We look at these 6 main elements in terms of how do we get the people business aspect in an organization for such a transformation. Then we go for the process and organization space. So process organization is more around like how do we get to the IT as a service model. So today in every company like Cisco and Microsoft and the others, we have an IT organization. But what's the governance of that IT organization? The IT, do we have a role and responsibility really well set so that IT knows what to do and business knows how to demand that? Or do we have some kind of like blur lines? So this is very important in terms of getting to the right stage in terms of IT as a service transformation. And many other things in this bucket is relying on the culture, communication, the architecture element, how do you apply the agile project development, all that, new finance models like pay as you go. Maybe some of them are not really matching the government requirements, but trust me, in every organization, every one of those will actually match, and skills and roles are also very critical. So with all this, I would call it like more organization and business part, getting us to the technology level where we are going to define the whole technology. So we call this the radar shape. It's called like fast IT radar. We call it in Cisco terms, but it's really your technology radar. So what we mean in these 6 different elements is your organization as like what you want to achieve, your initiatives and all that, needs a roadmap in terms of how to achieve those things in your organization. So here we divided this into 2 main buckets in terms of IT and business, and we provide all the relevant technology or the highlights in terms of like security, collaboration, infrastructure as a service, IoT, mobility, into this radar, just to show you how it can work. And I'm going to get into the more like an example of like a sample radar for such an organization. In this methodology, we try to identify where you are in terms of an organization, for instance, application data lifecycle, where you are today, and where you want to go, what do you want to achieve, and in this mindset, the horizons. So what do you need to do in the first horizon, second horizon? And within the FAST IT study that we usually apply, we set this roadmap together with our customers. So it's purely based on what you want to achieve, and does this really make sense to you? And then with that, I would like to also highlight one more thing. Of course, many other companies are doing the same thing. So providing a strategy, IT strategy, or overall business strategy, there are many companies out there. So what's the difference with Cisco? So as Cisco, we rely on the standards a lot. So ITIL, COBIT, TOGAF, there's standards for every different element of IT. But we want to be practical. We don't want to really provide you like a 200 pages of document as a report and then say, okay, Mr. Customer, you can do it. We don't want to do that. We want to be very practical, because today it's about being agile. So we need to really apply some of the findings to the real world. And that's the idea of it. So we put together all the best, I would say, features of all these different models together, I would say. Then comes, of course, the technology. As a technology company, it's very important for us to be actually in sync with the latest technology and to provide you the guidance for that reason. So for instance, today, I live in Dubai, and just recently, I think a few months ago, Dubai announced that they're going to actually use blockchain for all their government transactions. So it's actually really very visionary and future-looking. So what is really blockchain, and how is it going to impact your government operations? So that's one of the questions you might ask, and we can discuss that in the fast IT process. Or similarly, today every company is like forming their software organization, and they are looking at microservices. So it's a different type of development model, very revolutionary in terms of like not working on the regular waterfall model, going for like a DevOps. You probably hear all these buzzwords, but the idea really I would like to just tell you is it's a technology play in terms of at least getting you to the next step, and we are here to combine our experience all together with the fast IT methodology that I just mentioned. So it is very important to get the right technology experts also in this process. And then, of course, very important, what's the experience? What's Cisco's experience on it? So Cisco, we started this transformation around 2007, so it's been more than 8 years. So at that time, Cisco had more than 120 data centers all around the world, having downtime every once in a while. And it's a huge company, as you know, like right now the revenue is around like $50 billion. So you can think of like a machine generating the money, and your systems need to be up and running all the time, 24 hours, 24/7. So they decided, okay, this is not going to go like this, because it was just growing exponentially, and they couldn't really put the right structure in place. So they decided, okay, we have to do something different, and our Cisco IT, they started this IT as a service process. So they wanted to become a services-oriented IT organization where they can measure every services that they offer to their customers, which are us, and they can be transparent. Today, we have one portal that we can actually get the technology requirements if we need a virtual machine for a test environment, or if we get a new, for instance, laptop, we need to install some software, or we have an HR process that we need to get. They're all in one portal, which is called Cisco eStore. And we just do everything in one place. And of course, the background of it is more complex than it, but at the end of the day, the idea is all about IT as a service. And the process that we have here is about like 3 phases. I'm not going to go into the detail on this, but it's all about co-creation. So we would like to work together with our customers in this process after we get the Fast IT report. Now, coming to some of the references, so I'm just showing you this picture just to give an idea. So this picture was taken from a workshop that we had with Minister of Justice in Netherlands. So you see all these key stakeholders around one table, and I'm sure you all know about this. And it's great that we are all together here. This type of meetings are very valuable. So in the workshop also, we get all these people around one table to discuss IT governance and strategy. It doesn't happen all the time, we all know. This is very important. So the power or the strength of this overall methodology is about like getting people together and getting everyone discussing the same subject and then finding the solution together. So this exercise that we have done at Ministry of Justice Netherlands, and this is one of the outputs, by the way, of our Fast IT methodology. So as I mentioned, we look at people, business, process organization, and the technology, and all the data that you see here is a combination of the feedback that's coming from basically our customers. So from Minister of Justice, in this case in Netherlands, we have done the same in Kuwait, which I'll show you in a few minutes. It's all data that we are getting from you and then putting in a more like a structured strategy-based document. So really good comment coming from Minister of Justice. So we are happy to see, the impact of such a study is great. And it's not the only one. Now, like I said, I'm from Dubai. I've been there for the last 2 years. And prior to, I think 2 years, I think it's around like 3-4 years ago, UAE TRA also started a project which is called FedNet, the federal network. And the idea was around bringing a shared services infrastructure for 42 different entities to provide them services around connectivity, services, and management and all that track. So at Cisco, we were very lucky to get the project, and we started with first the connectivity piece, which we provided the connectivity around MPLS and for all 42 entities. And then we also started implementing the FedNet shared services. And this includes the cloud infrastructure where they provide multi-tenant cloud services to each entity. So they have the freedom to have the services on their own, but also this is a shared service, so they can definitely use this environment. And on top of that, we have the cloud center, command center, the NOC and SOC and everything. So a truly shared services approach from a government organization. So I mean, here is also, we are in the right direction in Kuwait, but I'm just showing, it's happening throughout the region. And some other examples I just want to share with you again from the government side. There is one from Slovenia, so it's a small country in Europe, but it's a really great example in terms of consolidating 40 data centers, because they actually had a law in December 2014 that they need to consolidate all IT spending from cost purposes, from other purposes. And the CIO was really concerned, not because of technology, but because of people and business and tools, because he wasn't sure how to do that. And we worked together with them with this methodology, and we came up with the great result. European Commission was another one in terms of providing cloud services. And again, fast IT approach worked a lot. I wanted to pass them quickly because I wanted to talk about the Kuwait success that we had so far. So we are very honored to have this study also in Kuwait, beginning of this calendar year. And we worked together with 5 different ministries as well as Kate, and we came up with this Kuwait Digital Government Fast IT report. And it was actually touching base on different elements in terms of like extending Kuwait information network, how to get this infrastructure as a service, platform as a service type of services in this environment, and some other initiatives. So the beauty of it is within such a short time frame, we are seeing the results, and we are continuing this study or work together. So one of the good results is around like centralized disaster recovery service. So this discussion is going on, but every ministry, as you are working on it, have their own services in their own data center. But also there will be a disaster recovery from one data center consolidated service where you can actually take advantage of it. Another one which is up and running today is the Kate mainframe backup services, which is over Kuwait information network, which is non-IP traffic running on IP traffic. And then centralized contact center for Ministry of Finance. So the examples are actually evolving more and more, and we are in good discussion in terms of how to get this to the next step. So with all this, as a summary, I would like to just highlight 3 main things. First of all, why this is happening? Because, as I said, digital disruption is everywhere. So we are living on our lives. Individually, we are seeing the impact. But from organization perspective, it's also impacting a lot. And we need to find a way how to transform our IT operations to work on this digital disruption. And what is the answer for this digital disruption? It is the IT as a service model. So we need to treat IT in a different way in terms of services-oriented approach. And we need to tackle those speed, cost, relevance, and security issues with IT as a service. And finally, how you could do that, or how we can help as Cisco for you. We can apply the Cisco Fast IT methodology, and we can help you to figure out what's the linkage between people, business, process organization, and the technology. And with that, I would like to thank you a lot. And if there's any questions, we'd like to help, definitely have them during the panel or outside. Thank you.